Yeah, well, you know what they say. They say money cannot buy happiness, but you know what? It can buy me a boat. Oh, yeah, it can buy me a truck to pull it. It can buy me a Yeti 110 ice down with some silver bullets. Didn't plan on coming on here and talking to you, my new best friend in stocks, options, and dividends, but I noticed a little fun thing going on. We're knocking on all-time high. We're up $27,941 today. And on January 29th, I recorded 1.909. So if we can get to 1.91, then we're going to be feeling pretty nice. So, of course, I click record. Maybe that's when it starts to go down again. But I feel confident today we're going to make an all-time high. I was busy, though. Tell them what you were doing. So busy. I was busy. I was busy. Where was I? I was checking out some Barry Sanders refractors over on the eBay. Oh, you and your cards. Oh, how dare you. I was over on Insta checking out. Look at this card. It's called a Downtown. That's a special super short print insert on different types of card products. This is a Downtown, and you can see here Barry Sanders. That's Detroit Lions. There's a little Motown action, little car manufacturing. This is a very difficult card to pull, so may as well just buy it. So I was looking at some of those Downtowns for sale, checking out some other guys' card collections. Also, I joined a Facebook group last night that is just Barry Sanders card collectors. Well, tell them how this came about, Bart. Thanks for setting that up, Terry. Last night, I finally got around to watching the documentary, the Barry Sanders documentary called Bye Bye Barry on Amazon Prime. And he was my favorite running back of all time. I've got a top three. It is Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, and Earl Campbell. But by far the most talented of the three was Barry Sanders. Seriously, he was way more talented than I would even say Jim Brown. Well, how dare you? If you watch that documentary, if you haven't seen it, oh my God, I was like had chills from head to toes on some of the highlights. And one of the parts of the Barry Sanders story that I do not like is the fact that the Packers in 1989 could have drafted Barry Sanders. They had the number 2 draft pick. Number 1, Troy Aikman went to the Cowboys. Number 2, drum roll please, the Packers drafted Tony Mandrich. And yes, you probably have not heard of Tony Mandrich. And then number 3, the Lions drafted Barry Sanders. Imagine how many more Super Bowl rings we would have had with the combination of Barry Sanders, Reggie White, and Brett Favre. Yeah, that's right. A lot. So where were we? Talking about Barry Sanders tonight. I was looking over on we're going to Stacks tonight with our friends Kristen and Brian, along with my brother and sister-in-law, Larry and Pam. I haven't seen them since New Year's Eve. So we got that going for us. Stacks is pound for pound our favorite restaurant in Valparaiso. It's basically 2 restaurants in one. There's the main floor, and then there's also the rooftop. So tonight we'll be on the rooftop because they have a pop-up steakhouse. Hello, and look at some of these pictures. Are you kidding me right now? Oh my God, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. So that'll be a good time. Get back to here. Have we hit it yet? Oh, we're getting real close. We're at 1909, 736 on the Swatch Watch. And we were above, we were at 1911, but it doesn't count unless we catch it on camera. That is the rule. I've done nothing today as far as options are concerned. Haven't purchased any stocks either, but what is up for me is oil and precious metals, gold and silver. So those are doing well. The market in general is up as well. We're up over 5,000 on the S&P. So we got that going for us. And from here, did we have our dip? We may have had our dip on Monday, and that could be the last real dip we get until, I don't know, 5150, maybe 5200. Then we have to really be on our toes as to what the market is going to do. So I will be exiting some positions along the way. Whoa, there it is. We got it. We got it. Market with a B. 1910 on this very day, February 15th. 1910. And we could set an all-time record while we're talking right now, but we'll mark that down just because it's fun to keep track of. I like to keep track of things. So we will be watching the market closely. I see some big red candles down right now, but still above today's low, and that's what we'll be looking for. If it takes out today's low, then we have to look at, there's a little bit more in the 4 down, because we're in the 4 wave of 5 waves, and we are looking to break out with an ending diagonal, which would then take us to the 5150, 5200 range, where we really got to be tippy-toeing around. So just a quick recap: ACLS, they might be up enough for me to roll this call. Nope, they're down today. Well, I'm looking for 125 because it moves around violently. But we'll see. Today's Thursday already, so I'm hoping tomorrow it's up, and then we'll roll that call. Otherwise, we'll let it just mosey out into the sunset at full profit, and then wait for a green day on ACLS to sell another round of calls. And Novix, it must be down today after a big up yesterday. Yeah, down 1.79%. So it'll probably be up tomorrow. That's what a Novix does. It bounces around like a pinball. He's a pinball wizard. We talked about letting Hood go. I'm just too far in my whiskey, down in my whiskey there, to be able to roll that out. So it's just, I'm going to lose all that upside. If I would have just bought the stock and held it, I would have been making a lot of dollar bills. So we did make money on premium, a decent amount of money on Robinhood, but we played that one incorrectly as far as actual cashing in on the most profit. PBF had a horrible earnings report as far as what they missed on their EPS, and it took them down, but it's rallied a bit because it was down all the way to 48 and change, and I want to let it go. I want to let PBF go just to trim some of my oil exposure, and I think we'll still be able to do that because tomorrow will be Expiration Friday, and then we had those Alcoa $25 puts doing really good already because Alcoa, and it's been pinballing today, but it is up. Let's put it on the big board. It's up 1.61% at 27.22, and we would own Alcoa all day long and every day of the week and twice on Sunday at $25. So we'll keep an eye on that. Devon Energy, $45 calls. Devon is at what? It's got to be in the green today, and it is up. Whoa, it's up 3% at 43.15. And that's expiring next week, so we'll be watching for that. I hope it gets threatened because that means all of our other oil positions will be doing very nice. Google down today. That's why this call is up at 91%, but we really don't need to get into next week. I should say this. I was a day early on Rivian on selling calls. I rolled those, didn't I? No, I sold them outright because I was sitting on the sideline on Rivian until it went up. It was up a bit yesterday, but look, it's up 4% on top of that today. And Rivian likes to move around violently as well. So let's go to the stock. And you see what I need to do because I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar. I got 2,000 shares on an average of 1929. So I'm down over 6,000 in the position. But if we look at 1 month, you'll see how violently this thing moves around. Hello, right? Oh boy, yeah. I definitely got cookie jarred on that. But I still have faith in Rivian, and the one thing that it definitely does, excuse me, it pays some nice premium because of its volatility. So where are we at on premium collection? We got 460, 240, 1,200. So, that's 16. That's almost $2,000 in 1 month. So let's do the exact math because this is how you have to look at it. And this is how I should say how you have to look at it. This is how I look at it when I'm way down on my whiskey in a position like Rivian. Okay. So I'm at, what am I? Let's go. Well, first let's do this. 460 plus 240 plus 1,200. And we're what? 21, 31, 36 days into the trade. 36. Okay, write that down. Got 1,200 plus this is 1,900. Okay, so we were up 1,900 in premium in 36 days on a position of what? So let's do math. And we'll need the abacus, of course. 1929 times 2,000. 1920. No, do use the abacus on the screen. Okay, I will. Bring up the abacus. 1929, right? Times 2,000 shares. So forget what it's worth right now. I can see what it's worth. It's way down in the whiskey. It is. So let's just say this. Say I bought a rental home and I paid $38,580 for it. And I can get one of those in Gary if I wanted to. Gary, Indiana, one of the former murder capitals of the world. Probably don't want one there, do you? I don't. But if I did, and I paid $38,580 for it, the 1% rule would be that I would collect $385.80 per month. Okay, now that's before expenses, repairs, vacancy. You always have to factor in a percentage of vacancy. And also, sorry, I keep looking at my phone because my car is actually in the shop. I had an oil change on Monday over at the Mazda dealership and woke up the next day and it had a puddle of oil. And I thought, well, maybe it's just, there's a little bit extra oil they put in there and it blew off. I don't know anything about that stuff. So then the following day it had another little puddle of oil. So dropped it off this morning for them to figure it out. Maybe it's just a misthreaded filter. I don't know, but I hope it's nothing other than that. So I am waiting for them to call me to tell me the car is repaired and ready. So if I paid $38,580 for a rental and I'm looking at the 1% rule, I'd be looking at $385.80 per month outside of and before expenses, right? Well, let's say there was no expenses, which of course will never happen. Then we're at $385.50 for the month, and we're at $1,900 right now in premium on Rivian. So if we did this math, right, 1,900 divided by, oh boy, you didn't write it down, did you? I didn't. 19,000, 1929. Why do you do it live if you just mess it up the whole time? I don't mess it up the whole time. Just my brain usually works faster than, or is it my brain doesn't work fast enough? $1,900 on 38,580 in 36 days. Okay, so that's our math. You know what I like to do? Fantasyland math. We annualize things, right? So 1,900 divided by $38,580 divided by 36 days into the trade multiplied by 365 is 49.9%. You're not going to get anywhere near that return on a real estate rental in a normal market. If I stole one, like for instance, I was telling you about the house that just became vacant after a long-term tenant yesterday over by Flint Lake in Valparaiso. I've owned that property for, I don't know, ever, and I paid $15,000 for it. And it's probably worth between 100 and 120 in its current shack-like, crack-like condition because it's been destroyed over the last 10 years with this tenant that's been in it. Which I knew that, so I was just waiting and waiting and waiting, just collecting rent, hoping, which pushes off that rehab. Well, now I'm like, I think I can sell it at a dollar for dollar better price as is to a thirsty investor, because right now it's very difficult to find any investment properties to purchase in Valparaiso. And again, this is just a block away from the lake. But it is like a crack house. It needs a total renovation, not roof, not furnace, not water heater, but inside as far as cosmetics are concerned. So dollar for dollar, I can get more selling it directly to an investor that might be a little over anxious to get another project going than going through the hassle of hiring the contractors and going through the headache, because that's always a headache. It doesn't matter who you have working for you and how long you've been doing this business. It is always a very management intense. So if we look at this 49% return and all I have to do is click a few buttons as the major introvert that I am, then I don't look at Rivian's current position of down 61.50 or 61.44 because I've already hedged 1,900 of that in premium, and that is cash flow, right? And we know cash flow is king, cash is queen, and debt is the joker. Speaking of debt, if you watched yesterday's video, I made a mistake, and that mistake was caught by you lovable viewers in that I am not charging. Look at that. Yesterday we were up 10,000 and we've put another 30,000 on since then. That's how crazy these types of portfolios can be. So if we look at a couple of the comments by Something Clever, smart move, liquidating positions. I agree. I want to get a little lighter in the position load. Yeah, this is my friend Sean. He's a sweetheart. Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion it's about to drop big. That is my position as well. I just don't know when. Wah, wah, wah. Well, then don't tell us that and scare us. I'm going to be on my toes once we get to 5,100 on the S&P, which should be soon. And I love this one. The market will always stay irrational longer than you can stay liquid. So nothing wrong with getting ahead of the curve and securing some dough. Great to hear your thoughts as well. Yes, that is so true. Right now, I think the market is irrational. And I'm going to show you some things if I ever do gather my thoughts productively, efficiently, and collectively and put it into why I think we are cruising for a bruising in the market. One of which would be, if you look at the market, pull up a chart for S&P or NASDAQ from 1999 through 2000, and you'll see what I mean. Irrational exuberance exists currently, and it did that as well. It's good to be aware of the national debt. It's not sustainable. What do you think of Bitcoin? I like Bitcoin. I love the technology of Bitcoin. I've never owned any, however, but I have traded and owned and still own Bitcoin miners. So I do think Bitcoin is going to an all-time high within the next 30 days. Write it down, Terry. Okay. You're rarely right, though. It's the magic 8 ball. It's not me. Okay, and here it is. So I saw others commenting already, but as long as your brokerage cash shows above zero, you're not using margin. You can sell cash secured puts on margin, but technically not using margin unless assignment takes you below zero, which means, drumroll please, that I'm not paying interest on that number that I thought I was. So that is almost like, it's not almost like, it is life-changing. So thank you, all of you that pointed that out. And hey, like my own video right there. And as a newbie options trader, that is a great lesson to learn. So thank you so much for that. So that's what we have. And we're still at all-time high. I'll sign off on that note. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you and every minute that you spend with me as we are becoming better and better friends in stocks, options, and dividends. Like, comment, subscribe, share the channel with a lovable friend, and a shout out to my actual friend, Jeff, who surprised me by saying when we were at dinner last week that he stumbled upon a YouTube video, and it's called The Wealth Snowball. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little embarrassed about that, a little shy, a little taken aback. But if anybody's going to stumble upon it and I don't have any reason to be concerned, it would be my friend Jeff. So shout out to my buddy Jeff. If you're ever in need of a Harley Davidson in Michigan City or Valparaiso, Indiana, check out my friend Jeff as he runs the show over there for that little empire. So talk to you soon. See you in the next video. And I'll let you know how my dinner goes tonight. Hey, I just caught 1911. Does that count? No, it's not on it right now, so it doesn't count. See you soon.